Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Today I will be discussing underrated and overrated pets in Adopt Me. I'll start with the top 10 most overrated pets in Adopt Me, going from 10 to 1. Let's jump right into the video. At 10 is the cow. The reason I put it at number 10 most overrated is because it's pretty old, but it's still overvalued. I get that it's super cute and preppy, but it still shouldn't be worth a whole 20 more points than the pig, which is the same rarity and the same oldness. At number 9 is the alley cat. It's cute, and I get the hype. I really like the alley cat personally, but it shouldn't be worth 4 or 5 or whatever it's worth right now. It's a little bit overvalued, I believe. This is using elf bread values, by the way. Next up in number 8 is the mule. I don't know that much about this one, but last time I checked, it was worth around 5 ride potions, which I think is really overvalued. I get that it's rare, but it's like a very ugly pet in general, and I believe that value should also be based off demand and not just their rarity. A lot of people think this pet is preppy or exotic, which plays a great role in value, but personally, I think this pet is pretty overrated for its looks and basically its design in general. And number 7 is some people's favorite, the Cabot. I think personally that it's pretty cute, I guess, but I really don't like the whole design of it. And yeah, it's pretty overrated now that I think it's worth around 5 or even 10. Last time I checked it was worth 3, but I'm pretty sure it went up a lot in value, which I don't think is reasonable because it's a pretty ugly pet, I'm not gonna lie. And number 6 is the albino monkey. This pet is worth around 20 in value, which I don't think is fair because I see it almost everywhere and it's kind of ugly, I'm not gonna lie. And it's very hard to trade, which plays a factor into demand, which should play a factor into its value, but it doesn't. I get that some people like the monkeys, but I personally find them very hard to trade, all of them, and honestly, a lot of them makes them less valued and less demand. At number 5 is the unicorn. It's gone up a lot in value recently, and I don't think it's reasonable because this pet is still in the game and you can hatch it. It's also been in the game for over 9 years or as long as Adopt Me has been around, which why is it still worth so much when it's been in the game for so long and it still is in the game? It just doesn't make sense to me. I get it's like the most amazing, awesome, preppy, generic pet in the whole entire game, but it still shouldn't be worth that much. At number 4 is the owl. I get that it's a preppy pet, but I personally think that the design is pretty bad coming from someone who does own an owl, and I believe that it should be the same as or less value than the crow because they're just from the same egg and they're the same rarity, and personally I think the crow's design is better. At number 3 is a misroll, or specifically the naughty one. I get that they're rare and you don't really see them that often, but the common ones you see a lot and they're honestly very ugly and they shouldn't be rising in value because I personally think that the design is hideous. I'm not gonna lie to you. And this one is probably me being biased, but I really don't like the design, so I think they are really overrated. Sorry if I'm being rude, but that's just my opinion. At number 2 is the turtle. Personally, I think this one is really ugly and it's very, very, very hard to trade. You have to sit there for hours upon hours just to get a single trade for it. And honestly, you see them everywhere, like in every trading server. You see Mega one, Neon one, Normal one. Doesn't really matter, but they're very they have no value and a lot of value at the same time. No offense if you like the turtle or anything. This is just my opinion. And moving on to the most important, number 1, the balloon unicorn. And now hear me out on this one. You probably also think it's overrated. Everyone thinks it's overrated. It's worth 16 value when it costed 1,000 Robux and it came out last year, which just doesn't add up. Maybe because they're rare, but I think I'm also pretty biased because last year I bought 2 of them Not 1, 2. And then, whoops, I got hacked, and now we're here sitting here and complaining about the balloon unicorn being worth 60 at a pop, which is just insane to me. Okay, moving on to the underrated section. At number 10 is the high tie, if that's how you pronounce it. I think it's pretty ugly, and it's basically just a copy of the Blazing Lion, but it should be worth more because it was super hard to get for a limited time and cost 1,000 Robux, and you never really see it, so I think it should be worth more than it is. Number 9 is kinda random, but hear me out. It's the Sun Glider. I think it's like a really nice design that I thought would be like a exotic in the future, but it's not. Because it's pretty like common everywhere you go, but it's a pretty nice pet overall, and it should be worth more. At number 8 is the fallow deer. I think this one should be worth more because it's very cute. I really like the design, and it's pretty old, all things considered, so technically it should be worth more, but it's not, probably due to low demand, which I get. Number 7 isn't really a pet, but old eggs. I think they should be like higher demand and worth more because eggs like the farm egg or the jungle egg or the safari egg, you see them less than you see like the bat dragon, which technically means, according to values, that the less often you see it, the more it should be worth, but that's not how it works, so they should be worth more. So this one you probably don't know even exists, but the red fox, I think it's so cute. It's one of my favorite pets in the whole entire game, and you barely see any. A true story, one time I joined the game, I was so laggy on my iPad and stuff, and then I saw in the chat ABC if you have a red fox, and I said ABC, and they traded me a fly ride phoenix for my red fox. That's how cute and undervalued people think they are, which means they should technically be worth more because they're getting better trades. So I think this one is getting the recognition it deserves to get, but back then it wasn't. So at number 4 is the candy hair, and I think this one had like one of the best designs in the whole entire game. It was just so like preppy and exotic looking, and it wasn't even like, it was for 0.85 on value sites, which I think is like very bad. So it should be worth more, and it is going up, so that's good. At number 3 is the blue dog and the pink cat. More specifically, the pink cat, because the blue dog is worth like a little bit more. They are like so old. They're like the first pets in the whole game. And the pink cat should be worth more than some random new pet that you can still get. Like, make that make sense. It doesn't make sense that they're worth so little when they're so old. They should be worth more than like a frost dragon or something. It's like kind of unreasonable, their value right now. At number 2 is the kangaroo. This one is getting a lot of recognition, but I still think it should be worth more than the turtle because personally the design is so much better than the turtle, and it's so like cute and aesthetic, and it's pretty high demand, and the value sites still aren't putting that in, so I think it should be worth more. Okay, number 1 is probably biased. You're all gonna say it's biased, but obviously it's the dodo. Should be worth a lot more than it is right now, and it should be going up, but it's not, because it was only a couple months away from the Arctic reindeer, which is personally a pretty ugly pet, not gonna lie, and it's very hard to trade and overvalued, but we don't talk about that. And tell me why the legendary from the Arctic whatever is worth 26 and the legendary a couple months later is worth 1. Like, it should be at least 3 or 4, but it's not. And did you see my dodo throughout the whole entire video? It is the cutest mega in the entire game, and it is the best thing in the entire game, and it's still worth a ride potion. Like, make that make sense. Please bring the dodo up. Petition to bring the dodo up in value. Dodo for all, Dodo for everything. I'm gonna die on this hill. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and listening to me rant about my dodo and other stuff, of course. Subscribe if you want to join the giveaway. I'm doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers, which is probably not gonna happen, but we can get there. Thank you so much for watching the video. Goodbye.